What an exciting time in GAP's history. I'm standing in what we're going to call the campus of hope for children, for families, for our community. They need hope. GAP, for the last almost 10 years, has leased a piece of property off of Flowing Wells, and many of you have been by there, but it's not our property. So this capital campaign is so critical to us. It allows us to have a property of our own. It allows us to expand the services that we give. More importantly, it allows us to save money.
I was on drugs for a long period of time in my life and was stealing and robbing people and just doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. When I first showed up at GAP, it was the day after I had gotten out of prison after 6.5 years. Came here the day after I got out, looking for an opportunity to do something, to gain a skill, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with cooking, fell in love with giving back. GAP as a whole, not just the culinary program, but just everyone involved in GAP has been a huge impact on my life. My life is a lot greater because of GAP.
As I look back at critical moments and pivotal moments in GAP Ministries, it was the establishment of our kitchen that was one of those critical times. And when God opened the door for our kitchen, not only did He open a door for us to feed children, and we feed in Title I schools, we feed throughout the O5 and the Indian reservations and throughout our community. Not only was that an opportunity for us that will continue to expand with our new kitchen, but it opened a door for us to train people through our culinary school, to bring hope, because they didn't have hope, because they didn't know what their job was going to be. They didn't know what was inside of them until they actually stepped into a kitchen. I remember one of our culinary students, as I walked in, she was sharing with a volunteer that this was the first time in her life that she had experienced hope. And I walked away weeping, saying, this is what this is all about. This building will save us money, meaning more of this product, more of food, more hope going into lives of families that desperately need it.
I've been volunteering here at GAP going on 8 years. A couple months ago, we had an open house here, and I met this lady, and I asked her, I said, can I help you do anything? And she said, well, you know what? I'm just so thankful, because if it wasn't for GAP, my grandkids wouldn't have no Christmas present, and that just touched my heart, because that's what GAP is all about.
So many foster families, so many kinship families, so many families on the edge of poverty. They tell stories about how if it wasn't for the GAP warehouse, the community warehouse, their Christmases and their family gatherings and their home in general just could not function without the things they receive.
Tucson Electric Power is proud to be a sponsor of the Community Warehouse. As you can see from the amazing vehicle behind me, the GAP Ministries is able to take items that are donated and get them back out into the community and get them used exactly where they're needed so that they can help families across Southern Arizona. We know GAP Ministries is looking forward as they develop their plans for the Campus of Hope. We know that this will be the new and revolutionary place where GAP Ministries can continue their legacy and join with all of our community partners to bring together the best that GAP Ministries has to offer.
I'm standing in a space that will be our new nonprofit Connect space. And this will be a place that will be very inexpensive for them as a launching pad for young and new nonprofits. It's designed as a place of ministry to nonprofit leaders. It's always been an underlying foundational thought of GAP Ministries that what we have isn't ours. What we have is God's kingdom. And so we are willing to share everything that we have with those around us. And that's why this space is so important, because it's our way of helping to give back. It's our way to share the resources and the blessing that God has given us.
My name is Beth Sierra. I run the foster care, visitation, and parent aid programs here at GAP Ministries. When children are removed from their biological families, that bond is there. No matter what type of abuse or neglect happened, there's still that bond with their parents. So when they get that time together, it's important to continue that bond.
I'm standing in what will be the new foster care visitation space, and what is so beautiful about this space is that though it's on the campus of Hope, it actually is a separate corner of the property where we can ensure that there's security and safety for our families and children. Dedicated rooms that will be inviting, clean, homey, and effective play areas that families can reconnect. Our parent aid services will be more effective. Our foster care licensing and training will be more effective because of this dedicated space. Our lease expires by the end of 2022. That seems like a long way off, but it's not. And when that expires, it's not only going to be our current rate, but it's going to go to a fair market rate, and that will almost double. This is a crucial time. God's opening this door. This is an avenue on this piece of property. We have looked across our city, and we really believe this is the place. And we need you to partner with us in this season because it's so critical that we move into our own space. We need to set a trajectory for the next 20 years of Gap Ministries. And this place I'm standing, is the beginning of that new season. It will take all of us participating over the next 4.5 years to make this a debt-free property, releasing hope into our community. I want to thank all the people for the last 20 years who have given to us, who have sacrificed to make sure that we're bringing health and healing and hope and wholeness to children and families' lives. You've been such a critical part of this journey that Gap has had. And I want to thank you because without you, we could not be stepping into this new season. We couldn't be stepping into this new opportunity to bring even more hope. I'm standing in what we're going to call the campus of hope. Will you walk with us into our future? Because this is the place where God will have us release the hope for our community.